The Texas Education Agency recently announced statewide results for the 2022-23 school year. Austin's superintendent recently sent a message to parents saying this new yardstick, quote, has made it much harder to get an A and much easier to get an F, end quote. This comes at a time that advocates say the state is underfunding public schools while pushing vouchers in charter schools. Austin dropped from a district-wide B grade to a C. 16 AISD schools also dropped from a B grade to an F grade. Let's look now at the new grades for some other districts around Central Texas, from highest to lowest. Only one district in Travis County got an A grade, and that was Eanes. As for districts that got a B grade, we have Round Rock ISD, Lake Travis, Leander, Liberty Hill, Dripping Springs, Hayes Consolidated, and Wimberley. For a C grade, Pflugerville, Georgetown, Hutto, Marble Falls, and Lago Vista. And then for a D grade, Manor, Del Valle, Bastrop, and Elgin. For more on the newly released scores, we are joined by Austin American Statesman education reporter Keri Heath, who has been following this story. Keri, thanks so much for joining us.
Thank you for having me.
So first, Keri, while some districts held ground, many got worse grades. Let's talk about this new grading system. Why do these grades seem to be lower, and what does that mean?
Well, what you do have to understand about the newly released scores, which are from 2023, not from 2025, is that this is a whole new rubric and a whole new system. So there's a new test, which is all online. There's new questions, new types of questions, and the rubric has new benchmarks for districts as well. So this includes new scores for college and career readiness. This includes a new, some districts would argue, tougher way of measuring student progress and student achievement on the STAR test. And so many districts did have lower scores, have more D ratings, more F ratings on the rating systems we saw come out in 2023.
And what kind of reaction have you seen from parents and from schools so far?
Well, some parents are upset about it and surprised. And from many activists and education advocates around the state, we're seeing some relief to have scores released. You have to keep in mind that we also haven't had 2024 scores released. So the last time we had comprehensive data was in 2019, before the pandemic. But from many district leaders, we're seeing a lot of concern. And this was why there were two lawsuits launched in 2023 and 2024, which was the reason for the delay. We had Austin ISD leaders come out and say that they're very concerned about the fact that so many local schools saw their scores drop, many from a B to an F. And they acknowledge that they believe at least part of the reason is because of this harsher, in their mind, rating system.
And it just seems like so much has been happening in public schools lately. Of course, you mentioned the pandemic. We're still seeing the fallout from that. Advocates have long criticized the state for underfunding, plus now you have vouchers, pressure about so-called woke education and concerns about literature content, and now, as of the fall, a new Bible story-infused curriculum approved by the Texas Education Board. Can you talk about all that's been going on and the state of public schools here in Texas?
Yes, and that's one of the things that many superintendents addressed when they were talking about these new scores in particular is the funding. So we had a school voucher program approved on Saturday. The governor had a large gathering at his mansion to sign this billion-dollar bill into effect. But at the same time, we have several bills to fund public schools and teacher pay raises that are still pending. And district leaders across the state are asking lawmakers to push some version of this funding through. While there have been packages to increase some specialized district funding, like for safety or for teacher raises of some kind over the past few years, there really hasn't been a comprehensive measure to increase public school funding since 2019, which was before the pandemic. And district leaders, especially in Austin ISD, are attributing a lot of their challenges to improving student achievement and student scores to this lack of funding.
Well, and all these adults making these decisions, and it all rains back down on students who've certainly been through a lot the last few years. Well, Keri Heath with the Austin American Statesman, thank you so much for joining us and breaking down this new grading system.
I appreciate you having me.
Thanks so much for watching. Be sure to like and subscribe and leave us a comment below to let us know your thoughts on this video. And don't forget, you can watch full episodes of Austin Insight for free in the PBS app.